South Carolina, 1976. A kid with a supermarket cart walks along a railroad track in the woods. A warning signal sounds. The kid runs to the side of the road and waves cheerfully to the passing train. There is a paved road ahead, and the kid settles into his cart and rides down the mountain. He reaches the school stadium, where practice is underway. A team of high school students is practicing American soccer technique. Coach Harold Jones reminds the boys, "Soccer is a team game. You can't win it alone." A man pays attention to a guy behind the fence, but he passes him by. The next day, the guy comes to the stadium again. Suddenly, a ball flies over the fence, and one of the players asks him to throw it back. But the kid puts the projectile in his cart and walks on. The next day, a man notices the strange behavior of the team and goes to the storeroom. No one wants to explain what is going on. He opens the door and sees a kid tied up in the corner. Harold has to talk him into releasing him. The freed kid runs away. The coach asks for an explanation from the team, but no one says a word. Then Harold warns about tomorrow's practice, which will last longer than usual. At dinner, his daughters inform him that the boy's parents called him, but he hasn't yet decided how to punish them. In the morning, the school principal asks him not to cause trouble. Then Harold sees the guy with the cart again and catches up with him. He gets scared and tries to give the coach the ball back, but the man invites him to come practice. Later, Harold spots him behind the fence, silently watching the guys. In the evening, his wife reminds him. Harold completely forgets about his daughter, giving all of himself to his work. At the next game, Mary Hallen dances as part of the cheerleading squad, while her father encourages the team to win. And now, the O's team is on the field. Johnny Clay's player is different in the game. His father is very pleased with this fact. The stadium cheers, people embrace, and Harold suddenly sees a lone figure behind the fence. In the evening, the coach and his assistant come to the barber shop, which serves as a sort of clubhouse for the town. Those gathered discuss the game and congratulate the winners. In the morning, the coach sees the guy with the cart again and asks the assistant to take him some water. The guy's frightened at first, but then accepts the bottle. Now Harold invites him onto the field. The guy hesitates, but then drops off his cart and follows his coach. While Harold fills out the paperwork, the guy spins a little radio. It turns out that he really likes music. The assistant lets the kid pick it up. Then, he treats him to hamburgers and gives him his nickname, Radio. Harold takes Radio home. They are met at the house by a woman who is apparently not used to strangers treating her son kindly. The first thing Radio does is to take the receiver apart. He's delighted with the inner workings of the radio and demonstrates it to his mother. He also remembers the coach's name and thinks he's good. At the next practice, Harold introduces Radio to the team. The boys accept him into their circle, and Radio trains enthusiastically and helps assemble the gear. At first, he's sometimes made fun of, but he's not at all offended and is eager to help his new friends. At the next game, Radio imitates the players and tries to support them. The fans don't understand what's going on, and the guy gets in line with the dancing girls and waves his pepidastras with enthusiasm. The girls support him, and the audience loves benningly at the new cheerleader. Radio cuts out all the notes about his favorite team and pins them on the wall. Soon, he can replace Harold in simple drills, and before the games, he greets the fans. Everyone already knows him, and waves to the kid too. Only Johnny Clay's father is not happy with such an assistant. Is Jones an athlete or a social worker? In the evening, Harold drives Radio home again. His mother is grateful for his concern for her son. What makes him so, she does not know. The doctors can't say anything definite. She has another son, and he has perfect mental health. The boy's father died a long time ago. She is constantly worried because the slightest excuse is enough for the boy to be taken away. And she gives his full name. James Robert Kennedy. The next day, the team leaves for a game in another town. The director forbids him to take Radio. He's not a member of the team, and he's not even registered with the school. James is left out in the rain. The kid goes to the stadium, turns on the game coverage, and tries to replicate kicks. The coach tells Radio the team is upset that they couldn't take him yesterday and want to make it up to him, and to do so, they will play again in their stadium. But then, Radio unwittingly becomes the culprit of his team's loss. He duplicates the coach's commands very emotionally and loudly, and the opponents recognize the tactics before the players do. Jones argues with the referee, for which he is reprimanded. Mr. Clay is outraged by what is going on, and Radio tries to console Johnny and gives him the ball. After halftime, the game goes differently. Team Oz wins, and Harold gives the ball to Radio for his support of the team, not noticing the displeasure of the hero of the match, Johnny. At the barber shop, the coach explains the lapses and promises team growth. Frank Clay again opposes Radio's presence at the games. The season is over, and Radio needs to find something to do. Harold asks an assistant to take him to the basketball team for a while. Radio shows his mother the ball he received. The woman reassures him. The summer will pass very quickly. At least he has the ball, the t-shirt, and the photo in the newspaper. Radio is now constantly around Harold, who teaches the boy to write and asks him to keep an eye on the class during his absence. A representative of the school board comes to the school and finds out how dangerous Radio is. But Harold promises to keep a watchful eye on his ward. Radio enjoys practicing with the boys and already speaks well. Christmas is coming. The townsfolk gather around the central Christmas tree, and Radio also hangs toys on it. Almost everyone gives the boy presents, and Harold volunteers to take him home. The coach's daughter is offended by her father's inattention. At home, the boy opens presents. His mother is happy. They have never had a Christmas like this. And she asks the coach, why is he doing this? But he thinks it's the right thing to do. Jones comes home late. His daughter is already asleep, and again, they can't talk. In the morning, Radio puts the presents in his cart and takes them to other houses. He wants to share, since there are so many. But a passing policeman detains the guy and brings him to the station. The officers on duty, seeing who the rookie has apprehended, become indignant. The coach picks up Radio and convinces the guy that he did the right thing. James continues to come to school every day. He is known and loved by everyone. He keeps the hallways in order and helps the teachers. He is also trusted to read today's cafeteria menu on the school-wide broadcast. One day, Johnny Clay decides to make fun of Radio and sends him to the girls' locker room, supposedly called there by the cheerleading coach. The simple-minded guy goes in there and pops out screaming. Harold realizes that he couldn't have come up with this on his own, but the guy doesn't give away the true culprit. True, the coach still realizes whose shenanigans this is. He voices his indignation to Johnny and denounces his suspension from the game. He tries to get the principal to defend him, but the woman sides with the coach. Finally, Harold reports that Radio did not give him away. Others are found. In the evening, Mary Helen delivers the terrible news. Radio's mother has passed away. They go to the boy's house and find him crying in a trashed room. Harold comforts the boy. And afterward, he tells his daughter that as a child, he witnessed how, in one of their town houses, parents kept a mentally handicapped child behind a barbed wire fence. Harold knew about it and did nothing. Now Mary understands her father's actions and thanks him. In the morning, a representative of the school board arrives at the school again. He is unhappy about Mr. Kennedy's inappropriate behavior, but Harold says that it is only because of the school that Radio feels like a man. Taking away his school is like taking away his life. Coach goes to Frank Clay, who hopes to win their team, and Radio clearly prevents Coach from giving his full attention to the work. Coach continues to teach Radio how to write. Even though he's no good at it, he encourages the kid in every way he can. Johnny Clay finds a note and a gift from Radio in the locker room. He's touched by the boy's action. And he also tries to apologize for the fact that the coach got mad at him. A game of basketball begins. Johnny, as always, is in the middle. The coach witnesses Frank talking to the school principal and realizes they are discussing Radio again. The O's team wins, and the assistant coach thanks the boys and notes Johnny's special play. Frank congratulates his son too, and he says a kind goodbye to Radio and assures his father that James is not bothering them at all. The wife tells Harold that the parents are going to meet the headmaster on Sunday. Apparently, they are not interested in the coach's position. The man doubts the rightness of his actions, but the woman is dumbfounded. He brought the boy to a school where he is loved. On Sunday, the coach takes Radio to church and suggests that he goes to the next grade. But he is happy to do his chores and doesn't want to change. There is a parent meeting at the barber shop. Mr. Clay proves that radio is a danger to the children, but Principal Lou is against this warning. Just then, the Jones family walks through the door. Harold addresses those present. He loves soccer very much, but there's something else that's important to him right now. There's a kid living next door, who until recently couldn't talk. Now he's doing radio announcements. He has a team emblem, but he doesn't wear it because he doesn't have a company jacket. And now they're asking him to leave. And not only do they teach radio, he teaches them too. The way he treats them is the way they would like to treat each other. That's why he's stepping down as a coach. But he wants to keep teaching, so he can keep up with radio. More importantly, he wants to pay more attention to those closest to him. The love of soccer is not as important as a good relationship between people. 3 months later, the school is celebrating graduation. Johnny gives Radio the team's signature jacket, which thrills him. Later, Radio, in a gown, helps the principal present his diplomas. And she declares him an honor student and tells him that he can stay in 11th grade as long as he wants. He is now officially part of the school and part of their lives. And 26 years later, Radio also goes to 11th grade and takes the O's team to the field. He's in his 50s now, and he's the most beloved coach. Harold Jones was elected to the Carolina Coaches Hall of Fame. He still maintains his friendship with his favorite 11th grade student at Hanna High School. It's a bright and kind movie, not even something to add to the main character's words. Treat others as you would want to be treated. And also, there is nothing more important than a good relationship with the people closest to you. If only people remember that.